You know those days, right? The ones where you miss the train by seconds, you spill coffee all over yourself, and then you hit every single red light on the way to work. It seriously feels like the universe has it out for you. We just chalk it up to bad luck. But what if it's not? What if this thing we call luck is actually something we can understand, and maybe, just maybe, even control?
Oh, that feeling. You hear about the perfect job opening a day after they stop taking applications. Or you finally decide to buy that thing you've been wanting, and it's literally just sold out. Infuriating.
And then there's this. The car dies, the washing machine floods, and it's always right after you just paid some other massive bill. It feels like a punchline to a joke you're not in on.
Or how about being in the wrong place at the wrong time? You get stuck in that one traffic jam that makes you late for the most important meeting of the year. It's enough to make you want to scream.
So what is going on here? Is life just a series of random, chaotic events we have to suffer through? Or is there something else at play? A pattern hidden just beneath the surface that we're just not seeing?
Okay, let's dive right in. What if I told you that most bad luck is actually an illusion? It's a story we tell ourselves because it's easier than figuring out what's really causing things to happen. And here it is, the core idea of this whole explainer. Bad luck isn't some cosmic force out to get you. It's just a label we stick on things when we can't see the cause and effect. It's a gap in our understanding. Our brain just defaults to luck when it can't connect the dots. So the real question is, how do we get better at connecting those dots?
Well, we do it by building what you could call a predictability engine in our minds. It's all about making a fundamental shift in how you see the world, moving away from thinking about random chance and starting to look for the systems and patterns that are always there.
Now this is huge. It breaks down the two ways of seeing the world so clearly. Over on the left, you've got the luck mindset. It's totally passive. Things happen to you. It's all fate, random chance, totally out of your hands. But then, look at the right side, the predictability mindset. This is active. This is about seeing the patterns, understanding the systems, and tracing the chains of cause and effect. This is where you get back in the driver's seat.
So, this all sounds great in theory, but how does this whole predictability mindset actually play out in real life? Let's start with an area where bad luck seems to show up all the time. Our personal lives, especially our relationships.
Come on, we've all heard someone say this, right? Maybe we've even thought it ourselves. It's this belief that finding the right person is like playing the lottery, and some of us just keep getting duds. But you know what? Relationship science tells a completely different story.
See, a long string of unlucky relationships isn't usually luck at all. It's a pattern. It could be our attachment style from childhood causing us to unconsciously pick the same kind of partner over and over. Or maybe we ignore major communication red flags, what the researcher John Gottman famously calls the four horsemen: criticism, contempt, defensiveness, and stonewalling. These four behaviors are so destructive because they systematically tear down the trust that holds a relationship together. These aren't random bolts from the blue. They are predictable behaviors that lead to very predictable outcomes.
And get this, Gottman's research is so powerful, he can predict whether a couple will split up with over 90% accuracy just by looking for those communication patterns. 90%. That's not fate, my friends. That is a system at work.
Okay, let's pivot to another classic, your career. It is so easy to feel like you were just unlucky to get passed over for a promotion that someone else's name just got pulled out of a hat.
But again, when you really look at the data, you see predictable patterns, not random luck. We know from organizational psychology that getting promoted is strongly tied to things like your network inside the company, your social capital. It's about how well you document your wins, and even whether your communication style clicks with your bosses. Being overlooked isn't just bad luck. It's often a sign of a mismatch within that specific workplace system.
All right, so we've seen how this works in our personal lives. Now, let's zoom out. Let's apply this predictability mindset to the bigger stuff, the things that feel even more random and out of our control. Money problems are a huge one. It always feels like a series of random hits, right? The car needs a new transmission, then you get a surprise medical bill, then your hours get cut. It just feels relentless. But are those events really random? This table just lays it out perfectly. What we call an unexpected appliance failure is really just a piece of hardware reaching the end of its predictable lifespan. That sudden car repair bill, it's usually part of a known maintenance schedule. A surprise layoff? Well, that often lines up with predictable cycles in your industry. The point is, these aren't random attacks. They are predictable vulnerabilities in a system.
Okay, here we go. The ultimate test for the bad luck theory. Accidents. Surely a car crash or a nasty fall, that has to be the very definition of pure, random bad luck, right?
Well, you'd be surprised. Even here, the data shows incredibly strong patterns. Car accidents, for example, are highly correlated with measurable things like how tired the driver is, if they're distracted, and even the time of day. Injuries at home? They often stem from predictable hazards like clutter on the stairs or a burnt-out light bulb in a hallway. At their core, accidents are often just errors our brain makes when its predictive system is tired, stressed, or overloaded. So no, they're not nearly as random as they feel.
So, if bad luck is just us misreading reality, how do we get better at reading the signs? How do we actually start making our own luck? Here's a simple 3-part framework you can use to take control.
First, understand probability. Stop relying on your gut feeling about how likely something is and actually look at the real-world odds. Second, increase your preparation. You can reduce your vulnerability to those predictable risks. This is stuff like having an emergency fund for those unexpected repairs or backing up your important data. And third, and this is the big one, shift your perception. The next time something goes wrong, stop yourself from just sighing and saying, bad luck. Instead, ask the question, what's the pattern here? What system is at play? And what can I learn from this? Because this, right here, is the ultimate payoff. When you stop seeing setbacks as some final verdict from the universe, they totally transform. They're no longer proof that you're an unlucky person. They just become data. They become opportunities to learn the system, to adapt your strategy, and to actually grow stronger.
So I'm going to leave you with this question. Think about one area of your life, your career, your finances, your relationships, where you've always felt you just have bad luck. Now look at it through this new lens. What's the pattern you can suddenly see? And more importantly, what are you going to do to change it?